certain lessons to be overcome, and we reincarnate in soul groups. And so when we pass, we look at whether we've actually fulfilled or learnt those lessons that we set ourselves. Nobody judges us other than ourselves. And we choose whether we reincarnate, when we reincarnate. And it could very well be that we decide, for example, that if you've been a murderer in the life that's just gone, that you want to see the other side of the coin. You want to come back as a victim of a murder. So that you will understand that, but you decide that. Because I don't believe in such a thing as karma, because karma means it's meted out by God or somebody on the other side. And any karmic thing, as karma as I know it, would be in the here and now. You know, I do believe in what goes round comes round on the earth plane, but I don't believe in karma per se. Because I say, God gave us free will. Why would he give us free will if anybody other than ourselves are going to judge us? That's what I believe.
Can anybody be regressed?
Technically, yes, because it's a form of hypnotherapy, and at any given time of the day, you are in one of 4 brainwave states. So you're in, when we're alert and talking, you would be in the beta state. Then you go to the alpha state, which is sort of a bit daydreamy. The theta state, which is, the meditative state, the dream state, and then delta. So what we're trying to do when we're doing a regression is get you into sort of the theta state. And we do this, by talking. I have to put my sexy drawl on and my hypnotic voice. And so that when we're in that state, I can then try and access your subconscious memories. There are some people who want it so badly that they sabotage the session. It's not a given that you're going to have a past life regression. Some people who are very controlling by nature will find it very difficult. A colleague and I were exchanging notes and have both decided that Aries men are the worst in the world to try and get to be regressed because they are control freaks, most of them. I'll say most, you know what I'm talking about. So they are the colleague I was on the past life regression who sent me a message and said, Gal, I'm in terrible problems, anything you suggest. I said, is he an Aries? Yes, he was. But that's not a given that it won't happen.
So do people come because they've got a particular problem?
No, they come because they know it.
Can you just,
they come because they know it.
Because you want to see what's happening.
Absolutely. It could be that they've got recurring dreams. I mean, one lady, for example, which was probably one of the best all-round regression experiences that I was involved with, and a Hindu lady, and she rang me, it was on the phone to me for half an hour, and essentially, a professional lady, lived in London, and she'd married her long-term boyfriend, the previous, who was also a Hindu, in the October. She came to see me in February. And they'd been together since university, and by this stage she was about 27, I think. And as soon as they got married, he completely changed, as did his parents, and started being very abusive towards her, verbally abusive, putting her down all the time. And so the straw that broke the camel's back was that he pinned her down on the bed, and she didn't know whether he was going to rape her or hit her or what, and she fled and came back up to her parents who were in the Midlands. So she came specifically to see, because in her religion she believed there could be a karmic reason, i.e. she'd done him wrong and that's why he was doing her wrong in this life. So I explained, as I've just explained to you, that I don't believe in karma like that. So we did the regression, and she went back to a life when he was a she and she was a he, and it was unrequited love. My client was a different class to the love of his life. So the father of the love of his life prevented them from being together, and he was incarcerated in prison, spent nearly all of his life in prison. The love of his life, the husband in this life, never came to visit, but he didn't, my client didn't feel any animosity towards him whatsoever. At the end of all this, you know, when I did some cleansing, etc., this smile was just beaming all over her face, and she said, I don't owe him anything. I don't owe him anything. Tremendous relief. Then she went back to another life, which filled in gaps of a dream she had, a recurring dream she had when she was a kid, of a life in America when she was killed in a car crash. She was at university. And so when I said, what's happening to your spirit, you know, in that life, from the point of death? And she said, I'm going down this grey path. And I thought, well, that's not right. So I said, move on and, you know, walk towards the light. And suddenly she said, when she was walking down this grey path, she said, I didn't chart this. My life's been taken from me early. You know, I was at university. I got all my life in front of me. I didn't chart this. So I said, walk towards the light. And of course, her face beamed in smiles again. She described being enveloped in the light, these spirits coming for her. And she said, I did chart this. And I said, why did you chart it? She said, because I had to learn and I can't control everything. And then after she passed over, her guides came through and started describing to her things, the reason why she'd been through the experience that she's been through in this life with her husband.
Do people get distressed when they're...
I don't let them. No. I basically take the emotion out of it so that, you know, they're looking at it as if they're watching it on DVD happening to somebody else. So, no. Is the answer. Yes, Ed.
Hello. Interesting talk. I'm a mixed person. I'm an open-minded person. I'm philosophical as much as I am spiritual. I understand the concept that with religion, the idea that we go on to heaven from a human state. As your pet's vet, I'd just like to extend the thought a little bit.
Yeah.
In that past life of what form? Is this particular just the human form? Or is this life of any form? And if so...
As far as I understand it, then animals can come back. We don't go back to being animals.
That's what I was trying to...
No, we don't.
Does the soul, spirit, whatever it is, can it jump into any life form, or is it just the human form?
No. And in fact, you have to go through many lives as a man before you actually incarnate as a woman.
Well,
and again, we haven't got time, but I'll tell you when you
sure.
Why is that? Why do you have to be a man all the time before you...
I've no idea, but that is the case. That is the case, apparently. I've been told that from 3 different sources, so yes.
Is it a continuous thing, or do you end up in a nirvana type of place?
I think the whole idea is that we do get to that state. Yeah, I mean, surely, you know, you look at it, if you look at Jesus, the teachings of Jesus, surely it could be argued that he was not only a fantastic healer, but also a fantastic medium. And, you know, when he'd reached that higher state, there is no need for him to come back to earth again. Again, it has to be your choice. You know, there's a fantastic medium in the States called Sylvia Brown, who's written several books that you can actually pick up in the works now. She has a spirit guide who she calls Francine, and she's only incarnated once on Earth as I believe an Indian, Aztec Indian, I think it was. It's been some time since I read the books. But any of her work, especially the other side and back, is well worth reading to give you, you know, a better idea, because Sylvia Brown's a medium and a past life regression therapist. So that'd be a good book to read. Yes.
I noticed you've got Anita Moljani's book.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
Oh.
Yes. This again, you know, anybody interested in near-death experiences, Anita Moljani died to be me. She's quite good buddies with David Hamilton, isn't she? And this describes a lady who had terminal cancer and had a near-death experience, and when she was on the other side, she was given the option of whether she came back or not. I do think, really, that what she got to say could have been condensed into probably a chapter. Then, you know, maybe some people really think that, well, I've said tonight could be condensed into a chapter, so each their own. But I do think she's making a 5-course meal over the left but anyway, just my thoughts.
Oh, sorry, just to cut something really short, it's quite similar to that book actually. I don't mind sharing this. But when I was 22, I actually wanted to die, and it was because I had a very traumatic experience, which I won't go into that. But I actually pleaded, please take me, I want to die. And I actually, that night, actually came out of my body, and I was actually floating, and I felt amazing. I felt a peace, I felt love, a feeling that I've never experienced since, but it was amazing, and I didn't kind of want to lose that feeling as well. But while I was floating, and I knew I was floating, I didn't need to actually look down, I knew I was floating, I could actually see myself in bed, and I was actually laid next to my current husband, who's my boyfriend at the time, and my dog, which at the time, she's no longer with me, Lazarus, so sleeping at the foot of the bed. And when I felt so good, I was like, yeah, you know, still kind of wanted to go. I was given the choice, because I was asked the question, do you really want to die? And I was shown my dog. And the love that I had for my dog, actually, in a blink of an eye, brought me back. And when I sat up in bed to expect to see myself floating in the corner of the room, of course, I didn't see myself floating, but I knew that I was there. My dog was there at my feet, and I felt a different person. I felt it was a lesson. I was given the choice, and I could have carried on, but I chose to come back. And I know why I did come back, because I've had a lot of work to do while I've actually been here on Earth. And I'm Peruvian in the past, and I've also had voices. Not that I'm schizophrenic. I have to make that clear. But yeah, once when I was speaking to somebody, and it's been work, and it's been over a period of time. But yeah, I've connected, and I have a lot of different things. I have words that don't mean anything at the time, but then I realise what it means and things like that. So yeah, quite interesting to share that.
That was lovely to share.
If I can just comment on the Anita Moljani, I think the big message she has, she does talk about being near death, but it's the dying to be me, and what she realised is she wasn't really living when she was here.
Yeah.
And that's one I lead meditation groups actually. The fact that we're all going to die is one of my favourite topics, because many people live in such fear and dread.
Yeah.
And you know, we're all 100% going one day.
Yeah.
And it's like living your truth, really enjoying every day, being with people you want to be, and taking fear, because she lived in fear of having cancer.
That's right.
Cancer. So those are the big stories that she wasn't living her true life, and that's a big message. So, but yeah, people need to hear it on different ways.
They do.
Yeah, I agree. I think it reads like it was recommended to me to read that she worked through the anxiety that she had.
Yes.
And she wakes up through it, and she's amazed by it. So
Yeah.
that's why it's. I thought, right, okay. I know what you mean. But I think it sort of worked. I think it's cathartic for her.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so worried about getting cancer, and she nurses a friend and is horrified by that, and then she gets it herself.
Yeah.
It's almost, it was recommended to me as, don't go into, be careful what you wish for. Sort of in reverse, be careful what you're anxious about happening to you.
Yes. It's like actresses.
Drew it to
Actresses as well, when they've acted that role,
them.
and years down the line they've actually developed that form of cancer as well, because they've had to put themselves in that role and really display that they have it. And
Yes, acting can be quite scary from that point of view. Yeah.
I think it's because we're energy beings and you're working with energy.
Yeah.
So you perhaps when you're in a role and you put so much effort into it that maybe you create that energy form then it's there waiting or something, I don't know.
What about protection? Can you protect yourself against that?
Well, I don't think it's a given that you necessarily, that, you know, you're definitely going to get something that, but I think, you know, one learns that everything in life is about your intent. And if you set your intent that, you know, you will do, for example, this role, but that it won't impinge upon your physical body, then so it will be. If you assume that it's going to happen,
That's
so
a
it
kind
will
of
be.
protection.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
a drama group I'm involved with. They do put on plays for the public, and one of them I saw recently. I was invited to audition for the main part. Right, I thought it was a psychopathic murderer.
Mate, boy, you
I
come
got
on.
background in psychiatry.